Hi there, I'm Ben, an RV technician here at Lichtsinn RV. Today we're going to be going through our Adventure 30T. Alright, to get us started, on the outside of the coach on the passenger side, we have our awning up high. So the awning controls are right inside the main walk-in door on the left side here. I will show you those once we go inside to be a little easier to see, but it's a matter of just holding the out button, and that's going to roll the awning all the way out. And kind of what we're looking for when we get it all the way out is once the flap drops, that's kind of where we want to stop, because if you keep going, you technically can roll this up backwards. So I'll show you here in a second once we get it out far enough. All right, so that flap coming down right now, once you get that into the position you want to and get your LED lights in the position you want to, stop, because if I keep holding the out button, it is going to roll up the wrong way. So make sure you do just let go of that button. You do have to hold that button all the way out and then all the way in. Then on the inside of the awning here, on the tube itself, we actually have our LED light stripping. And that switch is actually located right beside the awning in and out switch, which is right there. It is a lighted switch just because if we do roll this back up, you can't tell if the lights are on or off, so it does give you a lighted switch in there. All right. So moving on here, we do have our compartment on the outside here that does have the radio in it. It has a 110 volt outlet in it, a 12 volt outlet here, and then it has a table that just literally has two legs on it that fold down and then just sits up around the edge here. Just like that, and then sits against the coach. Just gives you another little serving tray, place to put stuff. And then this radio just works with the two speakers that are right out here. All right, let me just collapse that quick. Okay, so now right below the radio, we have the compartment that's right here. We have an LP hookup. This is actually for a grill that can go on your passenger side here and hook up directly to the LP tank that's in your coach. It's a quick connect and does have a shutoff valve just right here on the top, off and on. It is regulated gas already, so make sure we do get the right grill for hooking up to an RV. All right, right above the radio there, we do have the back of the fridge, strictly an access panel, just for working on the fridge, allowing air to come in and flow behind, but simply service in there. Tire-wise, we do have valves and extensions on here, and then up top there. What that is for, our tire pressure in these tires are 82 PSI, and that's every tire all the way around. All right, moving back, right up here, we have a gravity fill. So the gravity fill is one way we can fill our freshwater tank. Nice thing about a gravity fill is we can take buckets of water, jugs of water, fill our freshwater tank. We don't have to have a pressurized source to fill it from here. We have another way to fill on the other side that I'll talk about once we get to that side. First compartment here is, all right, so we do have storage in here. There is a light up top here that has a toggle switch right on that light. And then we also have a coax hookup and a 110 plug-in here also. Off to the right side in this compartment on the bottom here, we have a slide-through port that we can open, pass extension cords through, and coax through if we want to put a TV out here on the passenger side. Back around the corner here is our inverter, and that's what's going to take our 12 volt power and step it up to that 110 volt for certain outlets and entertainment functions in the coach. Slide room controls, it says right here, that's strictly the module for those slide rooms. It's something that I would be working on if you had a problem. Next compartment back is going to be storage. So we have storage here, and it actually goes up and back quite a ways too. Other big thing is just on your compartment doors, just make sure that we are pushing right at the latch there. That's how we got to make sure they close and latch. All right, moving to the back. Okay, we have for the towing, we have 500 pounds of tongue weight and 5,000 pounds of towing. And then we have a 7-pin adapter here for tow lights. Full extension ladder, all the way up. Gets us up to the roof. Just remember the roof is very slippery when it gets wet. The main reason we want to get on the roof is to check seals, make sure, you know, vent lids, stuff like that aren't cracked. Pretty much we want to get up there and just make sure there's nothing that's not supposed to be up there. And that's going to help with water leaks, you know, keeping up on our warranty claims, all that stuff. So every once in a while, just get up there and look. All right, coming around to the driver's side. First compartment underneath the slide room here. We have our 5,500 watt generator. Matter of just pulling, and that front comes off. All right, a couple things in here. Behind this here is our air filter. We have an altitude adjustment here, so if we're up in the mountains or that, we can kind of lean that fuel out. Oil fill and dipstick is right there. Oil drain is this little T handle, and then it drains out the bottom. Oil filter sits right here that we access from the bottom. Main thing about in the generator here is these two breakers here. So if we're running our generator, but it's not providing us any 110 volt power, come check those breakers. If they trip, it's not gonna give any power to the coach. So what they're gonna do is trip halfway, shut them all the way off, and then turn them back on. You can start and stop it from out here. Just hold the prime button. It'll give you a red light, hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, and then hold the start button until it starts. All right, generator wise, we wanna make sure we run the generators at least 2 hours a month under a 50% load. So that's, you know, run your generator, or run your air conditioners, run, you know, some appliances to put a load against that generator. The more we run these, the better they're gonna run for you. So make sure we're getting those 2 hours a month on the generators. If you wanna put more, definitely put more hours on them. And then definitely keep up on the oil changes. We recommend, you know, once a year or every 50 hours of use is when we want to do the oil changes on that. All right, fuel tank is right here. And then right in front of the fuel tank, we're gonna have our water compartment. So a couple things in here. We do have installed surge guard installed on the coach here. And what that's gonna do, there's gonna be about roughly 120 second delay before it allows power to your coach. So if you do plug in and it doesn't give you power right away, that's normal. It's actually checking the power coming in, making sure there's not a problem with it. It's doing its job. The lights on the front of the surge guard will actually tell you what it's doing. Right behind that, it's our ATS. So that's just an automatic transfer switch. It's just telling us whether the generator is running or we're plugged in. It chooses which power to use. All right, a couple more things underneath here. We do have your 50 amp cord here. And then back here, we have your 12 volt water pump. If you ever have bad water flow, just check this little screen that's right here. Unscrew it, clean it, put it back in there. That will actually increase your water flow if it's all plugged up. There's a valve right here. It's a or just a little turn valve. That's actually your freshwater tank drain. So that's how we would drain all the water out of the freshwater tank, would be out of that valve right there. Over here, there's two low point drains. One for cold water lines, one for hot water lines. And it's kind of hard to see, but there is one more valve up here. Right here. And that's what that pink sticker is telling you back there. It's a winterizing valve. What that's going to do is actually turn your suction hose on. That's right here. Take that cap off, put that in RV antifreeze, flip the valve to winterize. Then we're going to turn our water pump on, and then go to every faucet inside and outside and run them until you get a nice steady stream of pink coming out of the faucet. We also here have whole house water filter. On that, the biggest thing about that for winterizing wise too is after you're done winterizing the whole coach, we want to make sure we do open that up, dump it out. These will break even though they have antifreeze in them. You still want to make sure you empty them. All right, here on the right side, we have a hookup for portable solar. You have a water pump switch here, which there's another one inside. They both work independently. So you can turn it on inside, shut it off out here. Doesn't matter where we turn it on and off at. Over here, we have 3 hookups for coax. The one on the right here is for a cable hookup. So if the resort offers cable, Then we can hook that up here, and then we'll do a channel search for their cable stations. Here we have the main portable satellite dish. So if you have the portable satellite dish, which does come with this coach, that's where we're gonna hook it up to. And that's gonna be the main port on that dish. It does also have an auxiliary port on that dish that can be hooked up here. Pretty much that's gonna be for if you want more than one receiver. That would hook up here if we're gonna use that portable. Light is right above here. Simple toggle on and off there. Up above here, we have another valve. That's a quarter turn valve. If it's in this position towards the tank fill, that's exactly what it's doing. That will fill the freshwater tank then. If I flip it back to normal, now it's just feeding the lines in the coach. So if you're down on tank fill, that's all that's gonna really do is fill the tank. When you wanna use normal operation hooked up from the water that the resort offers, just always leave it in normal. Only time to ever flip that is if you are filling your tank. All right, so over here is another winterizing valve, which is right here. So what that winterizing valve is gonna do is bypass your hot water heater. So what we're gonna wanna do is flip that, just like that, and now our water heater would be bypassed. So we're not wasting RV antifreeze into the water heater. And then when you're not winterizing, make sure that's always in normal operation, otherwise you won't get any water into that water heater. Over here is the city connection. So if the resort offers water, this is where we're gonna hook the water up to. Always a good idea to have a pressure regulator that regulates the pressure coming into the coach. We also have an outside shower here, hot and cold. And then on that shower head, there is a little stopper here that does show all water flow off. On that, that's about it in the water compartment. Okay. Over here, hot water heater is up high. Pull the tab, flip it down. All right, in here we have a pressure regulator up here, which will blow off if the pressure gets too high in there. That's a safety valve. There are resets right here that are high limit resets. So if your water heater is not working, or maybe it overheated for some reason, you will have to come out and push this reset. Other thing we have here is an anoid rod. So it is a steel. We put an anoid rod in there that pretty much sacrifices itself so it doesn't eat your tank. So we always want to make sure we have an anoid rod in it. If you pull this out and it looks like it's all the way down to like a wire, there's a little wire in the middle, it's time to get a new one. So definitely make sure we keep an eye on that. You know, just maybe even plan on once a year replacing that, but check it every so often. Other than that, out here, that's about it out here. Okay, that's that. All right, furnace is here. We have exhaust coming out the bottom, fresh air going in the top. Always a good idea to put bug screens on there so we don't have wasps, any insects building nests in there. Down below that is going to be the fun station. So we got our dump station here. This is where we're gonna dump our black water and our gray water. And they're labeled right here and here. So we wanna do, hook our sewer hose up here, either route it through here or come out here. Always dump the black first. We're gonna take the T-handle, pull straight out. Once you don't hear any more water or anything flowing out, then we can pull our gray tank, dump that out. We always do the gray second, it's a little cleaner, helps rinse the hose out. We do also have a black tank flush up here, which will help rinse the tank, keep it clean, keep those sensors reading right. Another light in here, again, toggle right on there. Always a good idea to use that black tank flush just to, you know, if you have time every time you dump, use it. If not, every other time. But definitely use it so we can keep that tank clean. Okay. Over here. All right, so we have another storage compartment here. This storage compartment actually goes up and over, all the way to the other side. So we can fit longer stuff, skis, tables, you know, whatever you got long that you need to fit in there. This here is the portable satellite dish that comes with the coach. In front of the satellite dish, we do have a couple breakers. A lot of the breakers you're gonna see in this compartment are for exterior stuff. Slide outs, electric steps, solar panels. Again, most of the stuff on the exterior of the coach will be out here. Those will pop out about a 1/2 inch, push them back in to reset them. All the breakers for the inside of the coach are inside. All right, again, light in here, toggle switch right on the light. Front of this compartment, we have our LP compartment. We always know this is LP because we never put a lock on the LP compartment. So LP tank is here. This is the dust cap that goes over the fill. We always want to make sure that's in place just so we don't get dust, contaminants in there. Grill shut off here, righty tighty, lefty loosey. And then over there we have your hydraulic jack pump. So that's what's running all your jacks up and down. And the controls for that are inside, but there is a reservoir in there. We should never have to fill it unless we would have a leak. All right. All right, so moving forward, we do have your side camera here. That's gonna come on when we put our left blinker on. Also have one on the right side. Anytime we put the right blinker on, cameras come on. You also have your rear view camera. Anytime we put it in reverse, rear view camera is gonna come on. All right, up front, all right, let me just grab the keys really quick. Okay, so in the front of the coach, going to be gray key. So the gray key is going to do all the compartments on the outside, including the front hood. Also will unlock the bottom door lock, or your handle lock of the main walk-in door. This key here is for a compartment I didn't talk about. It's actually on the rear slide room on the driver's side. There's one storage compartment up high. That's what the silver key is for. This here is for the deadbolt for your main walk-in door. And then we also have the Ford key. So that's your starting key. All right, so we'll go gray key. Gray key in the front here. Down. Make sure you do hold that, because otherwise it's gonna fall down really hard. So just hold it, let it down nice and smooth. Couple things under here. Way up high in here, hard to see, is our brake fluid. Down below that, in the reservoir right here, is our power steering fluid. Oil dipstick is right here, yellow handle. Our air filter for our chassis is in the middle. We do have fuses, relays here for the Ford. So anything to do pretty much with the Ford chassis is going to be up here. Engine coolant is here. Oil fill is right up here. Transmission dipstick is right by the oil fill, right there. And then way around the corner on the left side here is actually our windshield washer fluid. All right. And then again, when we go back, just make sure we always lock this anytime you're closing it, just so that's not falling down on you as you're traveling. Just like that. Okay. So now around the passenger side, couple more storage compartments here to talk about. Okay, so storage compartment here and here. Again, this is the other side of that through and through storage. So it gives us lots of storage in the belly of the coach here. All right, there's one tool that's down here in the bottom compartment. So all this tool is for is to take the hubcaps off the tire. So there's two of the lug nuts that are actual lug nuts that hold the hubcap on. The other ones are just decorative. So it will have a little divot in it. Two of them that have little divots, this will take off, so we can take that hubcap off. That's pretty much if we're ever working on a tire, changing a tire, we have to take that hubcap off. So that's what that's for. Down below that other storage compartment, we do have a pet hookup. So for leashes, any of that stuff, it's our Pet Pal. Okay, so now we'll move inside. Okay, so right around the corner there, we have two disconnects in the bottom. One's a chassis disconnect. The other one is a coach disconnect. So pretty much what those are going to be for is if we are going to store this coach or not use it for a long period of time, we'll shut those off. and that will disconnect our batteries pretty much, so there's no parasitic draws against our batteries. It will make sure that when we come back to this, our batteries are going to be still charged pretty much. Make sure if you do store this that we always store it with batteries full. Don't ever put it away and your batteries are depleted, because then they will completely deplete. So definitely make sure they're full. All the batteries are underneath the floor right there. All right, so now moving inside. Okay, so let's start on the driver's side. Driver's side behind the driver's seat. All right, up high here we have storage all the way across. So a lot of storage up there. We have plug-in that's actually up in this storage. What that is for the microwave. That's the only thing that plugs in there. That's a dedicated circuit strictly for the microwave. So if you had an emergency with that microwave, you could unplug it right there if you needed to. Got our black bag, that's right here. Alright, so what this is pretty much the Bible of the coach. It has all of your manuals in it. Pretty much a great reference to go to if we have any questions, trouble operating anything. Always come to this first. Okay, so let's start with a couple sheets here that are in little folders. Alright, so that one there is actually going to have all of your model numbers, serial numbers. Over here we'll have all your exterior lengths, heights, and widths. And then over here will be all of your tank sizes, including fuel, freshwater, black, gray tanks. These are all the upgraded options. And then here are all of our standard options that come with the coach. Okay, next one over is this sheet here. So this sheet is actually really helpful. It has all of the appliances in the coach, all of their serial numbers, model numbers. So if we ever need to replace a microwave, a fridge, anything, we can go to this sheet, get all that information off this sheet. And same thing there. Okay, so that's those sheets. Next one is, we have your generator manual for the Cummins. We have operator's manual. So this is going to tell you how to operate everything in this coach. Then back here in section 11 is going to be our maintenance chart. So it's a good reference on keeping up on all of our maintenance stuff. It's a good starting point. You'll probably get your own list going as you go, but it's going to tell you before each use, weekly, monthly, yearly, when to check all this stuff. So definitely look at this, definitely keep up on this stuff. This is the stuff your warranty is going to depend on you checking. So definitely look at that. But yeah, any questions on operating anything, definitely go to this manual. These two here, light reading, are the supplement manuals. So these manuals are every manual for every single thing in this coach. Winnebago just takes it and they put it in binder form for you. Makes it really easy to find what you're looking for and to find the exact manual that you're looking for. So again, problems with anything, running anything, these manuals are going to be your best bet to start with. If you still can't get it, give us a call. Google's also your friend when it comes to operating anything. Otherwise, call us. We'll definitely walk you through it. All right. And then back here in the back, we do have a touch-up paint kit. So that's for the full body paint on the exterior. On this side, it's going to show you where each one of those colors go. There's also a little jug of clear coat in here that you can go over the paint after you touch up those scratches. All right, so that is our black bag. Let's go ahead and put everything back in here. Boom. Boom. Okay. Put that away. All right, so down here, TV-wise, it's on the left, up and down, which is going to be right here. So simply up or down, we're going to go down. Just hold the button. Anytime I let go, it's going to stop. Just like that. And then when we go down all the way, closes all that, it gets you a nice big counter here that's flat. When we do come up, just push up. It will automatically open that cover, and then come all the way up. Back down. All right, window behind is a slider window. All we're gonna do is undo the latch, slide it open, and then you can also slide the screen if you want to open it up completely. Close, latch to lock. We do have our screen here, our day shade, sorry. Nice and smooth down, nice and smooth up. Just let go, it goes up nice and smooth. Same with your privacy shade. Let go, nice and smooth up, nice and smooth down. All right, so now down below counter here, we have a lot of storage from drawers here. So the first drawer here has a couple of our goodies in it. All right, so the filter here is for that exterior whole house water filter. So that's the charcoal filter that you'll put in when you're ready to put water in it. This is the wrench for that exterior filter. So that's how we open and close it. And then in here, we're gonna have all of our TV remotes. The Dish Network remote is for your receiver. Then we have your radio remotes, and then we also have a couple extra AV cables and stuff in here that come with some of the stuff in here. This little thing right here is the male part of your LP hookup for the grill hookup outside. And then there is an Allen wrench in here. That Allen wrench is actually for the, we call it a doghouse. It's underneath your radio. It gets us access to the top of the engine pretty much. So we can service the top of the engine if there's a problem or we need to work on there. Okay, also right beside this drawer here, you do have 12-volt outlet and USB ports here also. 110 plug-in is right back there. Then we do have storage there, more storage underneath the table, and then the same storage on this side here. Table, you just grab and pull, and then I'll show you the extension that's back in the closet. The extension will fit right here. One thing you probably will want to do is pull the extension out and put this away, because once we bring all these slide rooms in, it does get a little tight in here. So if you have that out, it's going to make it a little harder to pass around that table. So a lot of people will just store that when they travel. Okay, up here microwave wise. So microwave wise, you do have cake settings, reheat, beverages, spaghetti, potatoes, popcorn, pizza, power level, chicken. All your numbers are here. You also have your convection numbers here, 230, 250, 265 for your setting your temperatures. So this is a microwave / convection oven. So we can cook pizzas, we can cook biscuits, we can cook chicken, we can cook anything you cook in your oven, just a little smaller. But that's just this convection button here. Just remember, a standard oven at home, this one will cook 50% faster than that standard oven at home. So make sure we either adjust our temperatures or we adjust our times. It's kind of one of those things you got to play with a little bit to figure out what temperatures or what time you want to use. All right, it does work as a grill, microwave / grill, microwave / convection combo, time and clock, or timer and clock, weight defrost, quick start, and cancel. Otherwise, push the silver button there, opens up. The rack that's in here is strictly for the convection part. Make sure we pull that rack out if we're going to do microwaving. You have the glass tray, plastic rollers, those can stay in for any of the functions. All right. Down below that is our exhaust fan. We have a light that's on there, and we also have an exhaust fan that's on there. Simply on or off on that. Cooktop, flip open, and then flip open again. All we're going to do is on the 3 burners here. They have a picture of which burner goes to what. Turn to light. And then we're just going to hit the spark. Turn it all on once. Hit the spark until they light. Just like that. And then after you get them lit, then you can go down to simmer or high flame. Simmer or high flame, and then simmer and high flame. Anytime we're dealing with an RV, a lot of times we shut LP off, turn it on, LP off. So we do get air in the lines, or we do get a little bit of air, I guess. So that's why sometimes you will have to bleed that LP out, and it takes a couple times. Just make sure when you're bleeding that you are continuously clicking that igniter, just so we're not pouring gas out. All right, and then anytime you travel, you want to make sure that we put that glass cover back down. Flip it over, and then if the burners are really hot, wait to put this glass down until it cools down. More storage underneath. Bigger storage there. Big storage down below that. We have another pull-out drawer right here. There is a little handle on the bottom. This one's important that we do get closed before we bring slide room in, otherwise it will rip the door right off. So make sure we do close that. Do have more storage underneath the sink here. All right, back at the counter, we do have a 110 volt outlet that's back there. We have a little storage shelf up above here. Right above here, hard to see, is a light switch, and that's simply for that light that's above the counter there. More storage up above, here and here. And there, and then there's also a small storage here off the right side. Okay, faucet-wise, you're gonna pull out, pull up towards me for hot, push down for cold. Do have sink boards here, stoppers in the bottom, double sink. Sink boards there. Blanket cover plate there. Light switch here is for the hallway. That's your hallway lights. Countertop extension, pull up. It's gonna lock in place. The releases are right here. Little black handles. Pull on both of them, then it will go down. There is another 110 plug-in right around the corner here. Here, and then we have 3 storage drawers all the way down there. So full extension ones there, all the way down. Okay, so now moving into the controls. So pretty much this is everything Winnebago does for control-wise inside. Let's go way up high first. So up high is gonna be for that front bunk. Simply up or down if this key is on. You have to make sure the key is on. Just like that and that. And then simply up and down. Over here is our 3 slide rooms. So there's 2 safety switches to our slide rooms. Ignition has to be on, and our parking brake has to be set. If you don't have either one of those on, rooms are not going to do anything. So make sure engine is running, parking brake is set. Simply hold the in or the out until you hear that motor start winding up, and then shut off. Once you hear it pretty much start amping out, you can let go, because you know you're hitting the sidewall, starting to put pressure against it. All right, down below that is going to be our solar controller. So this is pretty much just a readout, and all it's doing is telling you what's going on with the solar panel. We really can't change any settings. Solar either is going to work or not work. Right here we can just look at how many amps it's given us, and then how many amp hours it's given us. The battery type, all that's for is to change the battery type that you have on board. So if you change your batteries to lithium or AGMs, then we would have to go in here and then reset what we're actually having it set to. Otherwise, this is just a readout. That's all it's there for. Down here is our inverter. So this is if we want to use any of those inverted plugs that we have. So if I turn that on, so that will give 110 volt to those outlets that we talked about for entertainment, any of that stuff. If you're plugged in outside, there's no reason for this to be on because we're not using it, so you can just hold it for 3 seconds, shut it back off for that reason. Down below that's going to be our generator. All right, so simply we can hold the stop and prime again. It's going to flash red, that means we're priming it. Then you can hold the start button to start it. Nice thing about this generator is that it's an auto gen. So now we can actually go into auto gen here and then push enter. And now AutoGen's set. So AutoGen is looking at a couple things. It's looking at our battery voltage. It's looking at whether we have the thermostat set at a certain temperature for AC. If you have the AC set and then have this on AutoGen, if it drops below your set point, it's going to automatically start that generator, start cooling it down in here. It runs for a preset amount of time and then shuts back down. Same thing for battery voltage. If it senses too low of batteries, it's going to run for a certain amount of time, shut back down. So if you're going to be gone a lot, it's a good idea to set that auto gen so it's kind of watching out for you, especially if you have animals, any of that stuff. It's a good idea. Anytime you don't want to use auto gen, pretty much if I hit that start button again, that puts me back in manual mode. The other thing we can do in here is go to set, and we can set quiet times. So if the resort but has regulations on what time you can run your generator and what time you can't. You can set those times up. So if you want the generator to kick on at 6 in the morning, because that's when the resort says you can run it, you can set it for that. And same thing at night. If you want to shut off at a certain time, set it for that. All right, this also is going to tell you their recommendations. It will come on when it says oil needs to be serviced, or if there's faults or anything, it will tell you here. Down below that's our power control system. So what this is doing, it's kind of looking out for you. It's making it so we're not tripping breakers, not tripping the main breaker on the pole. So what it's going to do is when we're plugged in or running the generator, it's going to tell us what kind of service we have. So if you have a 50 amp service, a 30 amp service, or a 20 amp service. And then also what this does is over here it says water heater, refrigerator, AC rear, AC front. So if it senses that we're using too much power, so if we have both ACs running, we have electric element and our water heater running, we have something plugged in, we're using too many amps. So this is going to start shutting things down. So if these aren't lit up, they're starting to get shut down. The second you stop using one of the other appliances and we come back down into amp range, it will automatically turn them back on for you. So we can't do anything with this. This is going to take care of itself, and it's going to turn things on and off by itself. Just remember, if we're using a lot of power, it is going to shut things off and on. So if you hear things go off, come back on, it's doing its job. That's what it's supposed to do. All right, so over here, now we have red switch here is for the LP for the water heater. Simply turn that on. It's actually going to tell you if the pilot's out here. So once it lights, that red light will go away. If it ever goes out, it's going to try re-alighting 3 times. If it doesn't light, don't automatically think you have a problem. Shut it off, turn it back on. Try that a couple times. Just like that. The light went out, so it lit. Try it a couple times before you think you have a problem. If you do it 2 or 3 times and it still doesn't light and the pilot keeps going out, then it's time to get it serviced. Down below that we have water heater, on or off. This is the 110 volt element that's in that water heater. So we have to either be running our generator or plugged in for this to heat the water. Otherwise we have to use our LP. Biggest thing with this one is we don't want to run this when the tank is empty. So if you don't have any water in the hot water heater, don't turn this on when you're plugged in or run the generator. You will burn that electric element out that's in that water heater if it runs dry. So only use that when you're plugged in or generator. All right, up here is our water pump switch. So again, that's our second place to turn that water pump on and off. It will tell you the pump's here. We can leave that on the whole time we're camping because it is an on-demand water pump. So it's only going to run when we make a call for water at the faucets, shower, toilet. You can shut it off at night if you want to, if you feel safer, or if you leave the coach and you want to shut it off, you can shut it off. Down below that's our thermostat. Thermostat wise, pretty easy to use. There's only 3 buttons. The bottom long button here is going to run you through your options. So we got fan low, fan high. So this is all AC stuff to start with. Cool high. So now the compressor will come on, not just the fan. Then you have cool low, cool auto high, cool auto low. Then you have electric heat, which is going to be that heat strip that's up in the AC. That only works if it's 40 degrees or warmer outside. Once we get colder than that, we have to use the propane furnace. Then if I push that one more time, now it's going to say gas heat. So that is that propane furnace that will take you down below that 40 degrees. All right, and then what we do is go push another, shuts off. To adjust temperatures, just the arrows up or down. So this thermostat's going to run the front AC and your furnace. The back thermostat runs the rear AC, so there's 2 separate thermostats. Okay, so moving back, bathroom wise. Come back, open the door. The door itself actually is your privacy door. So it has a spring-loaded hinge here. That's supposed to keep it against here. That gives you the privacy bathroom wise. Alright, so in the bathroom, toilet wise, right on the foot pedal, right here. So if I barely push that foot pedal down, that will start filling my bowl up. And then if you want to drop it into the black tank, fully push it down, and then that drops it down into the black tank. You do have a cleaning sprayer here. Only works if you push that foot pedal down. So I mean, it's supposed to help rinse things down, clean the toilet, stuff like that. Another water pump switch in here. So we actually have 3 places that you turn it on and off at. And again, doesn't matter where you turn it on and off at. We have storage here, storage down below the sink also, there and there. And then coming up to the faucet, you have cold on your right, hot on your left, stopper in the bottom. On the right side, there's a 110 volt outlet up there. More storage up above, along with a medicine cabinet also up here. Close that. Okay, toilet paper holder is right around the corner. Right there. Light switch is above that. And then there's also a towel bar here. And the bar up high. Awesome. Okay, so moving into the bedroom. We do have our privacy curtain here. That is just on a snap right here. Pull that off. Comes across. There's a little hole that's right here. Line that up with this little nub that's over here. And then snap it on there. That's what's going to keep it closed. Let me just go back, put the snap back in place, hold it in place. This thermostat here works just like the front one, but the only thing this one's controlling is the AC that's in the rear of the coach. So that's not going to have your gas furnace on it. The front one's the only one that has that. On both ACs, here and here, are filters. So if you ever see them get dusty, dirty, grab these 2 tabs here, pop them open. We're gonna rinse them out, blow them out with air, put them back up and reuse them. You do also have dampeners here that dampen the airflow that's coming out of here and here, forces it out of the roof vents. So that's kind of just a preference thing where you want the air to go. All right, so in the bedroom here, we do have on both sides of the bed, you have a 110 volt outlet and you do have USB ports for charging. Also, again, you have that day shade and privacy shade there and there. Window is a compression window. There's 2 tabs, one here and one here. Push the 2 tabs together, lift the window up, and then it will lock in place. Same thing coming back down. Push them together, drop it back down. More storage up above the bed. Nice big storage all the way across up here. All right, in the rear, so the rear window is actually our emergency exit window. 2 red tabs, one on left, one on right. You're gonna pull those up. Pull this tab up, pull this tab up, push the window out. It is on a hinge. And that's where we're gonna exit if we have to. If there's a fire, rollover, anything, this is where we can exit. Shade is identical to the rest of the shades that are in here. And we do have our wardrobe. So wardrobe wise, we do have the hanging bar up high. The light in the wardrobe shuts off automatically when we do close the door. Your table for the front that goes in between the driver's seat and the passenger seat, and also the leg is there that goes up there. Shades that go up front that cover up there, snap on there, 2 snaps that snap up on the passenger window and driver's window. Your 10-foot sewer hose is also in here. You probably will want to get a longer sewer hose. 10 foot's usually not enough. People always go with at least 20. Again, that's up to you. Storage down below, 3 drawers down below that. A lot more storage here and also down below that. Another wardrobe here. And there's our table extension for the front table. So all that's going to do is slide in there. What it is, there's 2 tabs right here. Here and there. So that's going to slip into the table that's already there and just kind of lock it in place. Okay. All right, back over here. There is light here. Does just have a toggle switch. HDMI port there. We have 2 coax hookups. One's for roof satellite and one's for the portable satellite. So that's where we put a receiver, is right down here. 110 plug-in also there. MCD shades again. We have the slide window, and then TV sits up high in here. All right, also above my head, we do have carbon monoxide detector. Just flips open. And 9-volt battery. So check it off and make sure it's working. There's a test button on the front here. Replace those batteries yearly, make sure they are working. We have a smoke detector up front. Again, carbon monoxide in the back. Shower wise is here. Okay, so shower wise, right around the corner, there is a travel latch. Just turn that so it's facing vertical. Open up. So shower faucet, again you have hot on left, cold on right, which is going to be around the corner there. Shower head does have the stop button up on the shower head itself. That will shut the flow down so we can conserve water pretty much. They always say take military showers, short and sweet. All right, and again, that travel latch is anytime we're traveling. Let's just put that latch on so this door can't come swinging open when we travel. All right, so now in front here, down low, we have a GFI plug-in. So the GFI plug-in does have the resets on the front, and if you ever see the red light on, so if it clicks off, there's a little red light that will light up right up there. That means it's tripped. Reset it, because this plug-ins actually can control the plug-ins that are close to the kitchen sink and by the bathroom sink. So if those don't have power, check this first. Right above that's our LP detector, so that's for our propane. This will go off if we have any propane leaks. There is a test button right here that we can test it. It is really loud, so it will wake you up. That goes off. Get out of your coach, go shut your LP tank off, get it to the dealer and figure out why. Figure out why it's going off. All right, that one's hardwired into your coach batteries. So anytime the coach batteries are on, that's gonna have power. All right, so now moving above that, we do have our pantry here and here. This does have some trays in it and then shelves in it down below that. All right, so now up by the fridge. Okay, fridge wise, controls right in the middle here. You have your power button here. So hold it for a couple seconds, turns power on. All right, so the mode button right here is actually gonna run you through all the modes that this fridge offers. So one of the modes is auto. So what auto is gonna do is choose electric or gas automatically. So if I go into mode, auto, now we're on gas because we're not plugged in right now. If I pushed again, we're on 110. So it's gonna give us a red light because we're not plugged in. So it knows we don't have power. So if I go to that function and gives me a red light, this fridge is not cooling. Same thing if I go push it again. Now that little drip is LP gas. So now it gives us a green light because we do have LP. It lights the burner in the back, starts cooling. Push it again. I would always leave it in auto, let it do its own thing. It's gonna jump back and forth from electric to gas, whether you have power or whether you have gas. So if it senses you lose power in the middle of the night, it switches over to LP automatically, keeps everything cool. This one over here is just temperature. So if I push that, 5 is the coldest, 1 is the warmest. That's all gonna depend on climate outside. The hotter we get, the colder we might have to make it. Releases are right here for freezer and right here for the fridge. Okay, above me is vent fan. So we have controls here for 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the fan speeds. And then this will shut the fan off. It's a crank up fan, so this black handle over here is how we're gonna crank it up. That's gonna open the lid. There's a max air cover up there already. And then we'll go fan 1, 2, or 3, depending on what speed you want. And then if you don't want the fan on, just push fan off, shuts it down. And then we can just crank this back down to shut the vent. Just like that. Okay, around the corner, we have a couple light switches here. The one is gonna be, the front one here is gonna be for the front lights in the main living room. Next one here is for the lights right above the kitchen. And then we have 2 more down here. This one switch is going to be a light that's right above my head here. So that gives you 1 light right when you walk in that you can turn on. Right there. The other switch that's going to be there is for your porch light that's outside. And then it also gives you that little step light down there that's pretty much telling you the porch light's on and lights the steps up. Okay, fire extinguisher, always by the main entry door, so we can use it inside or outside. And that. Now above my head is going to be our entertainment cabinet. 2 latches. So this is a safety latch here. And then we're going to pull that black handle, drops it down. So this is where our satellite receiver is. So right here's the Wally. Alright, so that's your dish network receiver. Over here we have your booster switch. What this is for is if you want to watch off-air antenna, you're going to push that. You got to make sure that's on, green light on. Now we'll go to the TV and we'll do a channel search. So go into menu, go to air and do a channel search, and then it's going to find whatever stations are floating through there. If this is not on though, it's not going to find any stations. So make sure that switch is on. If you do use park cable, they have cable that offered at the resort, this has to be shut off for cable. This is only on if you're going to use that antenna that's on the roof. And then when we go back up, we're going to go back up, latch in place, and then put the secondary latch on. So that's just if this one fails, that one's going to hold it too. Alright, moving in front of that, we do have storage up above the sofa here. Again, all the way across. Big storage up there. Close, close, close. 1 light switch right there. So that light switch controls the reading lights that are above the sofa here. Right there. Again, we have our MCD shades. Sliding window there. Now on this couch, cushion comes off. Cushion comes off. And then, alright, so right underneath we're going to grab the front, pull up, set it down, and then what we're going to do is drop the backrest straight down. Just like that. So that's how we make this into a bed. It literally takes less than 30 seconds to make this into a bed. Besides your sheets and stuff you have to put on it. But to fold the bed down is pretty easy. Let's just reverse that to put it back away. Up. And then we're going to lift up on the front. One trick is when you go back down with it, keep it at an angle. Straight down. Like that. And with the slide rooms in, you will not be able to open up this bed. So this bed's only for if we have it fully extended. Cushion back in, cushion back in. Your seat belts were also located underneath there too. They can be pulled up if you have any riders or anything back here that need seat belts. Alright, so up here was that bunk we were talking about. Ladder hooks here. The ladder for this bunk is in the front of the bed, down on the base. So it snaps in 2 little clips down there. When you go put the ladder on, it needs to go straight on and then rotate down. That locks it in place up here. There is a seat belt here that we can clamp. And then if this would ever give way, it's going to hold it. It's a secondary safety is what that's for. On that, then simply up and down with that switch that's in the center of your coach by all the controls there to bring that down. Alright, seat-wise. A couple things on the seats. So on this side, this big handle is for your backrest. This one here is for your footrest that's below that handle. Lock that back in place. Coming around, a couple on this side. So the front one here is going to be for the rotating of your seat. The back one actually moves your seat forward and backwards. So the seat is all manual, no electric to it. You just have these pull handles that control everything. Rotate around, locks it in place. The only thing you got to watch out for is when you rotate that we're clearing this center. So you might have to slide it forward and back to make sure we do clear that center. On the armrest over here, we do have a map light. That's right here. And that's just controlling the 1 light above my head. There. And then we also have a 110 volt outlet that's right beside the passenger seat also. Up front of here we have our workstation. You just grab the handle, pull straight over. Gives us a workstation, also gives us a 12-volt outlet and USB ports for charging computers, cell phones, whatever we need. Just back up, straight over. Okay, in the center here, a couple things we have are storage down here. You have all your climate control here, which is your AC, your heat for the front. So this is going to be fan speeds. This is your AC on or off. Thermostat in the middle for how cold or how hot we want it. That's a recirculation there. This will choose what vents you want running. Over in the middle here, or right beside this, is we have two buttons here. So the one has a little fan on it. That little fan controls the defrost fans that are above the dash. So up is high, middle is off, down is low. So that's going to help just defrost that front window. The next one over is going to be radio power. So all that's choosing is whether we're going to use the chassis battery or the house batteries. So if I have that in the up position, that's chassis. So that will work just like your normal vehicle. So every time I hit the ignition, it comes on, shut the ignition off, it shuts off. If I flip it in the down position, now we're using the coach batteries or the house batteries, and now it's going to run all the time that you want it to. So pretty much if you want to use the radio when you're camping, flip it down so we're using those batteries back there that are being charged when we're plugged in. Over here we have menu button is up top. This brings us into the menu of everything it offers. Radio, Sirius XM, Bluetooth, USBs, HDMI, camera, AVNs 1 and 2. So if I push camera, it's going to bring up our rear view camera so we can see what's going on in the back. And then camera 2 and camera 3 are going to be your left and right camera. So if you wanted to look at those two while you're sitting still, you could. Go back out, Sirius XM, radio is here. And that's just a matter of selecting what station you want. You have presets that you can set. Down here you have, right here flips open, so if I grab there, that whole thing flips open. We have a USB port and an auxiliary port. Put that back in, and then volume is simply right here. If I push that once, it goes way down. That actually mutes it if you push it. Shuts all volume off. Okay, there also is a 12-volt outlet right here to the left, down below the switches. Alright, in the front here, we have all of our cruise settings, on, off, resume, set, excel, and coast. Horn in the middle. Shifters here with tow haul on the end of the shifter. Push button there. Down here is 3 buttons that are hard to see, but that's just running you through the in-dash options up here. So that's your odometer readings, your trips, stuff like that's ran there. Okay. Over here, again, hard to see, your steering wheel tilt is down on the left side here, kind of underneath here. And then on the left side of me here is going to be our LCI jacks. So that's electric leveling. So it's power down, power up on these. What it's going to be is just like our slide rooms, the parking brake has to be set, engine has to be running. Your power is going to be here. After you turn that on, then we can either auto level, or you can scroll through the options and go to manual level. So manual level lets you run either the 2 front jacks, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, or 2 on the rear. So then you can manually set it if you want to. 90% of the time people just use auto level. Then right above that's retract. So again, that's going to retract all 4 jacks and bring them up when you're ready to leave. So really easy to use. There's really not hard at all to use that. Right here on the left side is a battery boost switch. So if we ever left our lights on and killed our chassis battery, we can actually jump start that chassis battery off of our house batteries. So this is a momentary switch. So I'm going to hold it in and then turn my ignition over to jump start it. Let go and it returns back to normal operation there. Down below that's going to be our light control. So lights on, lights off. You you have daytime running lights, but we don't have automatic lights. So at night, you got to remember to turn your lights all on and then shut them back off when you're done. Dimmer switch here, if I roll it all the way up, is going to be the map light that's above my head, or that also dims the backlighting of your main dash up here. Over on the night rest here, our armrest, we have our mirror defrost, which is right there, which again, that's ignition controlled, only works if the engine's running. You have your mirror controls here, which are left or right, and then pushing the arrows will adjust the top mirror only. The blind spot bottom mirror is a hand adjustment. You have to set that to where you want. Night shade is our front shade. So that's simply up or down. This also works as your visor. So if my engine's on, it's only going to let this come down a certain distance to work as a sun visor. With the engine off though, it will allow me to bring this all the way to the dash. And that's going to give us our privacy. Just like that. And those two leather little things I showed you in the closet snap here and here, and that's going to block out that side there. Because then we pull this shade down here, but it only covers part of the window. So those little corner things are what actually covers the other corner of the window there, and then on the passenger side also. That up, we'll take this back up. Okay, on the engine wise is 1,000-mile braking period. We want normal acceleration, normal deceleration. Pretty much what they want you to do is to vary speeds. That's the main thing we need to do, is vary those speeds. We're trying to break that engine in is what we're trying to do. So what they don't want you to do is get on the interstate, set your cruise, stay there for 4 or 5 hours. That's not varying your speeds. If you don't use your cruise, you'll vary it enough with your feet. If you do want to use your cruise, they recommend every hour to pull off on an off ramp, pull back on. That's enough variation of speeds. So the main thing, just vary those speeds. That's definitely important in that first 1,000 miles. They don't recommend towing in that first 1,000 miles. So if you can avoid towing, avoid towing. The other thing is with oil changes are 7,500 miles, or we recommend once a year, whichever one comes first. On that, so that's oil changes, that's break-in. That's about it, actually. So, I mean, that's most of the stuff up here. The biggest thing, you know, with an RV is definitely keep up on your maintenance stuff. Definitely keep up on oil changes, keep up on all of that stuff. Because the last thing you want to do is be broke down when you're out and around, or when you're out and about. So just make sure you keep up on that. So hopefully this video is helpful on our walkthrough of our 30T.